Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of my in-depth review of the new Codex for the Dark Angel Army. As always, my name is Jay. Today I'll be discussing the HQ section, which took probably the biggest hit in the Codex as far as loss of models, but pretty much around the board, other than the Archon, the models got cheaper. So that was good in the HQ section. That was pretty good. So far, my initial impressions of the Codex are good. I think it's going to be a decent Codex. I think it's a decent update. It seems to be really in line with the Space Wolves and Grey Knights. Very minimal new models, very minimal new squads. It's just kind of an update. It feels like that. They get artifacts, they get warlord traits, their own FOC, and they lose all the models that are unnamed. Or sorry, all the named characters that have no models, right? That makes sense. Because obviously GW wants to keep up with their copyright stuff, and that makes sense, right? If they create a model, and if they create a named character and they don't have a model for it, other people can create it. GW doesn't want that. It's understandable. So today, I'll be going over the HQ section, starting, of course, off with my Archon buddy. Now, but I've got to start off by saying, if you guys really want to see some great content, go check out my friend Skardcast, Skaredcast, on YouTube. He does some great battle reports, Or check out Archon Timatron. He's a good guy, and he's on his on Facebook. But yeah, they're two guys that really love their Dark Eldar. So go check them out, because especially if you want to see battle reports, go check out Skardcast. So thank you so much for them as well. They're good guys. We like people. So we'll start off with Archon. Now Archon, nothing really changed with the Archon. The Archon was always the go-to cheap HQ. And he's great. Every army gets their base HQ that you can upgrade if you want, and he's that guy. And not much has changed with him. He's still 60 points. I believe he got an extra attack. Nope, not even much change. So he's basically the same stat lines before. Weapon skill ballistic 7, strength toughness 3. So he's going to be easy to crush. He doesn't have Eternal Warrior. He will have power from pain, so he'll get Phenol Pain. But once the strength 6 thing hits him, it's going to really hurt. That's the problem with Dark Eldar, is that's maybe why you want that cover save in turn 1. But if someone hits him hard, if he jumps into combat with a monster creature, he's going to be in trouble. Let's just say that. But he's initiative 7, so we'll go first. 4 attacks, leadership 10, 5 up save. So he's the same old Archon. Cabalite armor, splinter pistol, close combat weapon, plasma grenades, fleet, independent character, night vision, power from pain. And he can replace his close combat weapon with Husk Blade, which I really like, because it is strength user AP3 instant death. Yeah. So, instant death, and he's initiative 7. So, for 85 points, I'd highly recommend, if you think your Archon's going to be getting close combat, give him a Husk Blade. You get an 85 point initiative 7 monstrous creature killer. He'll just destroy them, Unfortunately, he's only strength 3, so he's not going to really hurt the monster creatures. But, yeah. So, but he can, roll out 6. Goodbye, Hive Tyrant. Pretty good stuff. From there, we'll go to Court of the Archon. Now, obviously, as I mentioned, as Drubai, Vect, Lady Malix, and Duke, Baron, Karadrak, all gone. Homunculus Ancient, also gone, but we'll discuss that later. So there's the Court of the Archon. You can take a court, of course, when they come, the Lemans, Urguls, Medusae, and Sliths. And basically they stayed in points cost. They relatively stayed for their, what they did as well. But now they have, they all have fleet. Everyone has fleet. The Slith doesn't, sorry. Medusae, no, yeah, all of them have fleet. And power from pain. Urguls have feel no pain. And so do Sliths. And the Lemans are still 10 points. They used to be 10, I believe. Yep, still 10. Sliths got 10 points cheaper. They're now 25. But Medusae got 10 points more expensive. They're now 25 as well. And Urguls stayed at 15. So not much of a change there. It's pretty much the same standard. If you want to take the court, they were an interesting flavor. Like, the court always was a cool bringing attached thing. And it could add some interesting flavor. Of course, they don't take up a force organization chart. If you bring an Archon, they don't take up a force organization chart, which is cool too. So they're cool, and they bring some interesting, attachments you can bring, and the cool character. As far as models go, they were probably one of my favorite models to bring. But yeah, that's that. Up next, Succubus or Succubi. So Succubus, they got 10 points more expensive, and really not much of a change. You know, there's still, if you really like Succubi in the beginning, you can still bring them now. They're just as viable. Weapon skill 6, weapon skill 8, ballistic skill 6, strength toughness 3, weapon skill 3 wounds, initiative 8, 4 attacks, leadership 9, strength 6+. Again, give them the Archite Glaive because it's just, you know, it adds extra attacks and it's AP 2 and AP 3. I'd recommend Haywire Grenades are a great attachment for 5 points. Succubus are 75 points, as I mentioned. And they have Combat Drugs, Dodge. Dodge is great, because Dodge is still there. You get a 4-up invul, save from all wounds inflicted in the fight subphase. And independent character, Fleet, Night Vision, Power from Pain. Right, a great choice. Again, that's the thing, I don't really like that +1 weapon skill Warlord trait, because they already have really high weapon skills, so you really don't need to bump it that much. The toughness is what you really want to hopefully roll, because there's a big difference between having toughness 3 and toughness 4. You know, strength 6 versus strength 8 weapons is a huge difference in 7th edition. Up next, Lelith Hesperax. Now, Lelith got significantly cheaper. I mean significantly cheaper, like a third off. Lelith went from, or not that much, 25 points, but still, 175 down to 150, so now she's 150 points. Still same stat line, weapon skill, ballistic skill 9, strength toughness 3, 3 wounds, initiative 9, attacks 5, and she has the Warlord trait Blood Dancer. So she gets +1 weapon skill to weapon skill 10. Good job. She has a Witch Suit, which gives her 6-up armor save, but she also has what's called Quicksilver Dodge. So she gets a 3-up invul in any wounds caused in the fight subphase, as opposed to the 4-up invul normally from witches. And she also has a League Apart, which means she can only attack. Lelith Hesperax rerolls all failed to hit and to wound rolls while fighting in a challenge. That's great if you want to get her in a challenge. She has a 3-up invul. If she fails her 3-up invul, she'll probably be crushed, but still, 3-up invul is not bad at all. Night Vision, you know, so she's pretty good. I think she's going to be a solid HQ choice. She's really nasty, so you might want to bring her. She's a pretty good, I think for her points, she's going to be a very good HQ choice. Up next we have the Homunculus. Now the Homunculus is basically, it's 70 points. And now I know what you're thinking, wow, from 50 points to 70 points. Basically, the new Homunculus is the old Homunculus Ancient, as they were called in the Codex. And so they essentially got 10 points cheaper. For Homunculus Ancient, now it's only 70 points. And you get, and as I said, you basically get the same old stat line of the Homunculus Ancient, weapon skill, ballistic skill 5, strength 3, toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 5, 3 attacks, leadership 9, 6+ save. He has Gnarl Skin, Splinter Pistol, 2 close combat weapons. Feel No Pain, independent character, Master Pain, Night Vision, Power from Pain. Master Pain basically does power. Master Pain's really cool too. Is they treat the current turn as being 1 higher. So turn 1 counts turn 2, turn 2 is 3, and his unit. So it basically bumps up the bonus for it and keeps you guys stronger earlier in the game. So Homunculus, solid option for an HQ as well. I think all the HQs are really solid in this codex. Urien Rakarth, good HQ too. He has the artifact as well, but we'll talk about that in a sec. So he's the same, Urien Rakarth. He got cheaper again, very much cheaper. 50 points cheaper, went from 190 down to 140. And the big difference is now that he has, I believe he has, he's essentially the equivalent of Fleshbane. He has a 2-up Father of Pain, I believe is a special rule. Nope, that means he has the Master Pain rule to every model within 12 inches, or all the units within 12 inches of him, which is great, bumps up that turn. The Classic of Cleansing. Nope. 12-inch range, Strength 3, AP 3, Assault 2d6, 1 use only. Oh yeah, there he goes. He has the Ichor Injector, which gives him Fleshbane. So instead, he used to have a different thing, but he's Lethal Dose, which is any to wound rolls of 6 cause instant death. So he's still a pretty nasty guy in close combat. And he's toughness 5, so he's pretty much the best, most survivable HQ you have. So 140 points for that, good choice. Again, like it depends on what you want to run as HQ, but many of these HQs are going to be interesting. I think there's going to be some great themed armies, but now because you don't have to take an HQ to take certain guys as troops, it gives you the option really to mix and match your HQs and your troops and your fast attacks. I know it isn't the best fluff-wise and theme-wise, but for just sheer competitive ability. I think it'll be really nice to see these mixes and matches, because now you don't have to take them to make them anybody troops, so you can just take whoever you want, and there's some solid HQ choices. Up next, Drazhar. Drazhar went from 230 down to 190, 40-point drop as well. These HQs are really solid. Same stat line as before. Not really anything has changed. So weapon skill, skill 7, strength toughness 4, 3 wounds, 7 initiative 7, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 2 up save. 2 up save. Pretty sweet. And he's toughness 4. He has Demiclaves. Now, Demiclaves are good because they have the 2 options, strength plus 1, AP 2, or the 200 version, strength user AP 3. I'd take the AP 2 any day. He has Eternal Warrior, which is insanely good, right? He is going to be the leader that survives. So he's Eternal Warrior, he's Fearless, he is Fleet, and he's an independent character, Master Blade's Murderous Assault, which means that he gets... Drazhar gains a bonus attack made at the same initiative step each time he rolls a 6 to wound in close combat. But they don't generate any more. He's kind of like the old One-Eye. And Power Paint and Rampage, and he has the Executioner's Armor as his artifact, and it gives him a 2-up armor save. Makes sense. So he's a solid HQ. Right? He's going to be pretty fun. I think there's going to be some great HQ choices in this code. As I said, obviously HQs were where the Codex took the biggest hit, because they lost half their HQs because they were named HQs with no models. And I know losing the Baron and the Duke are going to be really sad for the Dark Eldar players, but I'm very optimistic that the HQs that remain are just as good, if not way more better than ever. They're solid, and many of them are really, really good in close combat. So there you go. You know, I think that, as I said, I think you're going to see a lot more mixing and matching. Drazhar is going to be amazing. Urien, solid choice. Homunculus are solid choices. I think Lelith is going to be a really cool choice. So it depends on what you want to do with your list. But and there's Succubi and Archons as well. So whatever you want to do with your list, it's very viable. And as I said, I think the warlord trait you're going for is going to depend on what kind of list you're running. If you're running a lot of deep striking, you really want to get that number 2, because that's where your ability is going to be even better. You get to reroll your reserve rolls. But besides that, I think it's a solid HQ section. You have choices now, not as many choices as you did before, right? You only have as many choices, but the ones that are there are really good, and they're going to be really competitive, I think. So, Lelith also got an extra attack, I remember. Sorry, she did get an extra attack. I should have mentioned that. Her attacks went up by 1. So, I really hope you enjoyed this part of my in-depth review of the new Dark Eldar Codex. As I said, basically all of the HQs that are left are solid, but half of them got removed. So, pros and cons. So I really hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for the next part where I will be going over the Elite section. And yeah, I really hope you like this video. Leave a comment in the comment section down below what you thought about the HQ section. Go check out my friend Scarredcast. He's a really good Dark Eldar player. And yeah, so please like the video, comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Really does help a lot. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting.